Hello everyone, Luke here. I just wanted to give a content warning for this week's episode. We do touch on the subject of domestic abuse, which is obviously very upsetting. While we would never put anything graphic for this nature into the podcast, we just wanted to make listeners aware that there are some phrases and descriptions that some might find upsetting. This is obviously a subject that we all take very seriously, and hopefully that's reflected in this week's episode.
Shredis heishit daboff, commands Vin Weasel Greg prepares his finger guns, anticipating up evil. I say, I follow you, you follow me. You can take the hat, but leave the horn to me. Attack together, right now, after 3. The final cabinet fits only for fire. 3 weeks of making, kindling in dice and desire.
This cabinet finally fails, and is now open to the world for whomever of the 4 people around it.
Can we have a look at this horn?
Yeah, of course.
Is it a drinking horn? Is it a musical horn?
Yeah, so a better description of it. It lays in the cabinet. It lays flat, I guess, is the best way of describing it. You've got one end, which is the very end of the snake tail, and then it is literally, it just sort of like the tail leads up, and then it just sort of spirals around and around, almost like a spring in the middle, so to speak, leading eventually to the head of the snake, which is literally just out open. So I would, if you roll me a perception first.
Yep. Yeah.
I guess actually a perception or performance,
Okay,
because you're asking whether it's a musical, didn't you?
Let's try performance. Let's try a different coloured dice for performance.
It's not strictly a performance that you're doing, but I guess it would play into your performance needs.
16.
Okay. You look at this and you think to yourself, whilst it seems like it could be shaped like a musical instrument, it doesn't. In fact, let's play this out. Do you want to try and play it?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you put it to your lips, and Diesel gives it a blow. And whilst a noise does come out of the snake's mouth, I think it'd be fair to say it's not musical.
Right, okay.
Okay.
But it does, but it isn't. I mean, air went through it, so it's not a drinking horn.
No.
Right, okay. This is an interesting item. Maybe we should spend some time investigating it when we have some time.
Well, you've all now basically taken. I think, have you taken everything? Have you actually picked up everything? No one picked up the tooth, the large fang. I don't believe.
I didn't pick up the cube of many colours either.
Didn't Quinch take that?
I didn't. No.
No.
Okay. So I think looking through the list, it's up to you whether you wish to divvy them up or how you wish to go with it by this. But as far as I can tell, no one took the large fang. I think Dabov took the candlesticks.
Yep, I got those.
Quinch has got the waterfall. Krill's got the stone tablet. The red book's with Greg. The small disc, that's with Dweezil.
Yeah.
The painting's with Dweezil.
Yeah.
The helmet is with Krill. And so it just looks like it's the fang and the cube.
Quinch will grab the cube of many colours.
The cube of many colours is with...
Who's having the fang? I think you should take... Krill, you should take the fang.
Yeah, you could turn it into an axe.
The fang.
Yeah, I
Turn
don't
it
think
into a
Dabov
new
could carry
axe.
Describe the fang.
I think it'd be a good shield, actually.
It's just, I mean, roll me a nature check.
19.
19. You've never seen a creature large enough to hold a fang of this size.
How big are we
It's-
talking?
It's like I say, we're talking the fang itself is probably sort of about 3 foot tall.
Having it.
Wow.
So that's where we are.
Can we look behind the curtain now, please?
Surprised nobody said that earlier.
Alright, to the curtain then.
Who's going behind the curtain?
Quinch steps up to the curtain.
Okay. So you lead yourself up to the curtain, and what are you doing? You gonna poke your head through?
Yeah, poke my head through.
Okay, you poke your head through, and it's quite dark and gloomy. You can sort of see a couple of shapes, but you don't really have dark vision, so you can't really make out any particular detail currently. So it's whether you want to.
Okay, he takes his head out. Bum, look through this curtain.
No.
What?
No.
Oh, I guess.
As you see this, he's walking around the room. He said, "I've done my deal. Well, you've got your things. I'm taking my stuff," and he's like literally scrambling up the little pieces to get his 10%.
Why are you acting so shiftily, Bum?
Not. This is not my thing.
Why don't you want to look behind the curtain? What are you not telling us?
Why don't you want to look behind the curtain?
I have, and I haven't got dark vision.
I will look behind the curtain.
Is there no like drawstrings to just like pull the curtains?
Yeah, I mean that is what I'm getting to. Is you could just literally open the fucking curtains.
Yeah,
I will. Let's open the curtains.
Okay.
Yeah, let's pull back the curtains.
So you get Krill. You grab one side of the curtain on the so obviously it's down the middle, pretty much the split between them. You grab one of them and you yank it.
As I walk, I say, "Ladies and gentlemen, I present
the aristocrats."
As you pull back the curtains, the light spilling onto the stage, you notice a few things on the back room. Nothing particularly interesting. Your eye is drawn to what appears to be a body on a chair, tied to a chair.
Are you awake? Are you alive?
You receive no response.
Do we recognise the body?
Can you roll me, not from where you are?
Krill, check his pulse. Or her. Could be a woman. Or non-binary.
Can you roll me a perception?
I check their pulse. Perception. 11.
So before you get to checking the pulse, you notice that as you get closer, you notice that this person sat on the chair is a kobold. And as you get closer, you recognise the kobold more than you thought you would, and it appears to be Bum.
Holy shit. Lads, this is Bum the Squirrel.
Can you roll me a medicine check?
Absolutely. Ooh, natty 20.
Natty 20. As you're looking over Bum, not only do you recognise Bum, but it is very clear from the wounds upon him that no person would be able to survive anything on him. He is bruised, he is battered, he is cut, he has clearly been breeding. Brilliant.
That's how kobolds do it, yeah?
Yeah, he's clearly been bleeding.
Bum is dead, gentlemen.
Bum's behind us, though. What?
He's disappeared.
How did he get past me?
And then you hear, "Oh, Dabov, you silly little boy.
Oh.
Once again I find you in my home, rooting around in my possessions like the gutter rat you are. Do you recognise me? Dabov, can you please roll me a perception check?
Perception. Oh, not great. Perception 8.
I take it this is Bum that was behind us that is now talking in a different voice, and not Bum strapped to chair dead.
Yeah, he's just lifted his head up and just started.
Completely out of character. I have a feeling I know who this is.
Sorry. What? Sorry. So you rolled. What did you roll on your
An 8.
An 8. Okay. Do you recognise me?
Probably not with an 8. Do I recognise him if I rolled an 8?
No, you don't.
Right. I'd say Luke does, but Davov probably doesn't.
It seems you're having a bit of difficulty. Let me give you a reminder and to introduce myself to the rest of your group. I am Aldrich Swayze. Dabov, does that help?
Dabov
Are
just...
you Patrick's brother?
Davov just remains silent as to not incriminate himself further, but there's definitely a look on his face of shit. Bugger.
Ah, there it is. I rather think you do recognise me.
You could say Dabov remains immovable.
Oh. Well done, everyone, for getting here and for dealing with these cabinets. May I tell you a tale? Will you allow me that? I promise I will make it worth your while.
Dabov says, go ahead, but this time I have friends with me.
Dabov, who is this man?
I thought you were about to say, Dabov, who are these friends? Oh, thanks. This man is my past. Caught up with me. I don't know how much he's going to allow me to tell, but I'll let him tell his side of the story, actually. Going to see what he knows. I'm not going to incriminate myself further.
Is he a ghost of your past?
Not yet, but I'm hoping he'll be a ghost by the end of it.
Next of kin?
Boom, roasted.
No, we're not related.
If I may tell my tale. I, Aldrich Swayze, was a businessman in Waterdeep. This much was true. I was a trader, dealing in anything and everything. If the fine folk of Waterdeep needed something, I could almost always get my hands on it for them. For a price, of course. I was very good at what I did, and that meant I grew a successful business very quickly. I needed something to do with this newfound wealth. From a young boy, I was always fascinated with the arcane, and so decided to start collecting magical artifacts. There was something exciting about holding an item in one's hands that could do something beyond my own ken. But soon I came to a realization. They were just possessions, mere items. If they could wield such magic, what could a man do with the same? And so I turned my drive and desire towards that world with the intention to becoming something more than I was. I was a keen and natural learner. Before too long I could perform some spells. Nothing too complex, mere parlour tricks really, but it was something. And with that newfound power, I won't lie, it went to my head. My wife didn't like that. She told me so on many occasions. The mistake she made was thinking we were still equal. It was early in my journey, of course, but I was learning that I'd outgrown her already. One night I decided to show her just how little she was. I struck her and intended to kill her. And then we were interrupted. A gnome stormed into the room, preventing me from finishing the job. I soon chased him off, and my anger had deflected from her to him. That night he stole something from me. Tell me, Dabov, do you know what you took?
Dabov is going to produce the immovable rod and hold it out somewhat arrogantly and say, do you mean this? You're more than welcome to come and try and take it.
No, not the insignificant rod. What type of fool would think that worth something? No, you took more than that, my boy. You took everything. Emboldened by your actions, that bint of a wife of mine ran to the guards and told them tales of how I treated her. And they believed her. Over me. Overnight my name was ruined. I was a pariah. and no one would do business with me. My fortune soon slipped away, and I became worthless and insignificant as the urchin that stood before me, or whatever that was, pointing at Bum on the stage. But the difference between you and I, Dabov, is that I'm too strong to stay in the gutter. I managed to hold on to a few small items of magic, as well as a spell book, which I used to teach myself. I traded the items for food whenever I needed to eat. In between learning, I searched for the gnome who tipped the first domino in my downfall. Turns out there were a lot of gnomes in the streets of Waterdeep, probably a result of being so small. But none of them were you. I'd given up hope of finding you in Waterdeep. It was like you had simply vanished. I knew you must be on the run, but I did not yet have the resources to find you. Let's be honest, I didn't even know who you were. That didn't stop my anger festering and growing with each passing day I was stuck in the ditches. And then one day, I stumbled upon our fetid friend here. While at my worst, living on the streets, I met this Bum. And he spilled his guts about the gnome with the light fingers. He had not seen you in a long time and was worried. Of course, I had no way of knowing it was you. But I knew. I knew. This didn't help me find you, obviously. You weren't in Waterdeep, that was clear. But I had a name at last. Dabov. Dabov. That reminds me. What is your family name? I asked around and no one knew. Care to share?
No, not particularly. Not to the likes of you.
Never mind. Back to my story. My power was growing. I was rebuilding myself as a mage. As far as the town was concerned, Aldrich Swayze had disappeared or even died. His name was burned, and so a new man stepped out of the shadows. Whoa! Lord Bong Rippington at your service, dudes! A wizard of no compare! I would perform tricks and illusions for money.
That's so fucking good.
That was good.
I would perform tricks and illusions for money. First for the common folk, but as my reputation grew, so did my clientele and wealth. I soon found myself rubbing shoulders with the same folk who engaged me to find them things in the past, and yet they did not recognize me. They thought me some foolish trickster, when they had no idea of the magic I actually held, nor understood the journey of how I got there. Sometimes I wonder if I despise those with money more than those without. Then one day I had a visit from an old friend. Any guesses?
No, it wasn't your wife, was it?
No. That, points to Bum. Bum, the squirrel. I thought I'd left him and his cohorts behind, but he won me over with one word. Dabov. He knew that I was residing in Amphail now, and so he came and told me that by pure coincidence your paths had crossed in Nightstone, and that he'd given you a reason to come here. I'd been whispering promises in his ears, and when he saw you again, a gnome who paid him no attention before, he knew where his allegiances lay. Together we laid a trap for the inquisitive gnome who liked to take others' items. In that moment, his usefulness ran out, and I decided to improve this world by taking him out of it. And with this, he cocks his fingers at Bum and says, "Goodbye, dude!" and fires an imaginary dart at Bum. Tell me, are you saddened by his death? Are any of you saddened by his death?
Somewhat.
Not really. I didn't really know him that well.
From the little time I was in his body, you did not seem to treat him particularly kindly, so it is no surprise. You didn't even recognize his voice was different. Perhaps you are not as heroic as you think you are. Anyway, Dabov, here you are in my grasp. Finally. I've watched you fumble around with these childish games I set for you, thinking yourselves impressive with each passing door. At first I was amused, but now I'm bored. I've lured you here to torture you, punish you, and ultimately kill you. What I would give to do away with you right now, except I see you are marked. Worse things lie in your future than I could possibly dream of. Oh, Dabov, I said it before, but you really are a silly little boy. Where have you been? Perhaps you should stop entering homes uninvited. I see flames for you, my boy, and things that will make you wish for the flames to return. And I hope to be there to see it happen. Now, thank you for indulging me. I did say I would make it worth your while, and I was fully allowing you to keep these items. You seem to have already taken them, and they mean nothing to me now. They once held some sentimental value for me, but now they just remind me of a time I was worthless. Feel free to take everything that you already have your mitts on. And Dabov, if I know you, I rather think I do, a coward who likes to hide in the dark. You'll be particularly interested in the item hanging in the back room over there. Where you're going, it won't do you any good, of course, but you may as well have it. Catching up has been fun, Dabov, but I must go. Feel free to stay a while, but do shut up after yourselves. I don't want any more riffraff in here. I rather think we'll see each other again. Ta-ta. And with that, he lets out a little... and he's gone. Disappears. Yeah, so he has basically filled you in on everything. He's allowing you to keep all of the items that you have chosen to steal from him anyway. And yeah, so that's Lord Bong Rippington, aka Aldrich Sizey.
That was both incredible and weird as fuck.
Yeah. Okay, dude.
Before we go any further, Greg would like to rush over to Bum the Squirrel to see if he can somehow give him medical attention.
He's dead, mate. Dead.
That means Jackal in D&D.
We must cast a spell of revival. We must.
We don't.
Greg, you can roll some. You can roll some medicine check if you wish.
I would love to roll a medicine check. Enough. I mean, at this point, I'd also like to remind you of the feat I took, which means...
Yeah, feel free, yeah.
As an action, you can spend one of your healer's kits to tend to a creature and restore it 1d6 plus 4 to its HP, in additional to... I don't think it's really going to help us here, actually. Meh.
No, I think we need a cleric and revivify.
He's full on dead.
He's a dead guy.
Yeah, you check with your medical knowledge. You back up Krill's knowledge here that Bum is dead. He's been dead for probably a couple of days, if not longer.
That explains the smell.
Dabov's going to say we should bury him. He was a traitor, but when you're sort of desperate and poor, as I've experienced, you chase the money, you don't chase loyalty. You know.
That sounds really cool and important. The guy said about the back room. I'm really keen to have a look.
Yeah, I'm gonna go open the door. Just have a look in.
There truly is no honour among thieves.
Is this not a trap? I mean, that guy didn't seem like the most trustworthy of folk. Could this not just be one last dance of his antics?
I'll inspect the door for traps, but I'll say if he wanted to kill us, he'd have done it. From what he said.
Roll me an investigation check then, please.
Investigation is 14 plus whatever my bonus is. Investigation 19. I get +5 on that.
19. So yeah, I don't know what you do for searching for traps. Anything you want to do? Tap on the door, or how would you search for traps? How would Dabov search?
Sort of visual check to start with, see if anything's been like tampered with or anything unusual, any sort of unusual markings. Then maybe like a little tap on the door, see if I can hear anything rattle or any sort of mechanisms.
So if you're starting with a visual check, can we have it so that you've got a system of 8 checks? First one needs to begin with each letter of Vin Weasel. So VIN, visual, then I, what can I be?
Investigation.
N.
Noise.
Noises.
Yeah.
W.
Weight.
Weaknesses.
Weight. Check the
Wait,
doors.
wait.
Check the doorknobs
Wait.
weighted as I expect one to be.
E.
E.
Examine.
Examine.
A.
Assess.
Assess.
S.
S.
Strength.
Let's have sound again.
Sound.
Put my ear to the door. It's like, nah, sound safe.
Another E.
E.
Ooh.
E. And
Everything
Edges.
clear?
Everything
edgy.
clear.
You gotta be really
L.
edgy when
L.
you do it.
Luck.
Look, there we
Always
go.
luck. There we go.
Performing the Vin Weasel checks.
It's very health and safety of us.
Gonna have to have a poster made of that.
I should have been in it.
Yeah, Sam, can you make a note of that, please? Yeah, so you do an investigation on the door, and you find no traps after all that because you've done the Vin Weasel check.
Vin Weasel safety dance. I'm just gonna
Oh, can we have a Vin Weasel with a little safety hat on, little
high-vis
fluorescent
jacket. Yeah.
clipboard?
One thing I've learned is that when you've got a stealthy animal like a weasel, a high-vis jacket is spot on. It's exactly what you want.
Or
I'm
else
just
you lose him, obviously.
Yeah, tie like a balloon to him just so you can always see
put a
where he's
frickin'
at.
bell on him. I'm gonna
Right.
open the door. I trust it. If he wanted to
We're
attack us, he
100%
would have.
drawing him with a balloon and a high-vis jacket and a bell.
Vin Weasel, the
you open
safety
the door,
weasel.
You open the door?
Yeah, I'm just going to open it. I'm going to reiterate. If he wanted to kill us, he'd have done it. He seems powerful enough.
The door opens outwards towards you, much to Krill's chagrin, and you peer in and you see a room. You notice just a small room, but you do notice the first thing you notice is that there is a woman chained to the wall.
Do I recognise her?
Instantly run forward and grab Quinch.
Yeah, can we both
Do you
tackle
recognise
him?
it? Can you roll me a history or an insight check, perception, whatever's best for you?
I'll do history. +3 on that one. Oh, that's great. 6.
6. No, you don't recognise her. Probably because she's quite emaciated. Emaciated, I don't know how you pronounce that word. Seemingly starved. But sort of, other than that, untouched. There are no wounds on her. She's just very, very, very skinny.
I'm going to ask if she's okay and attempt to let her down.
You get no response from her.
Um,
Can you roll me an investigation check or a medicine check?
Medicine.
Whatever's best for you.
Not great. Medicine. 8.
8. It's not a particularly good roll, but I think once you get a bit closer to her, you realise that she is also dead. And you also notice there are blood stains down her mouth.
Interesting. Can I search the body for any sort of identifying stuff, or search the room, see if there's any other possessions around?
So you look at her, you search her. Yeah, do an investigation on. We'll do it the room as general, but I'll encompass her in that because she's dead.
Cool. That is an unnatural 21.
And that's just 21. You search.
As opposed to a natural one.
Well, I didn't want to say it was not 20 plus 1, it was 16 plus 5, for whatever difference
You
that
start
makes.
with. You start with the corpse, and you search her, and you find nothing particularly of interest, other than a wedding ring that is on the ground beneath her left hand.
Can I deduce from that who she is?
Nope. Just a wedding ring. And then, as you're looking around the room, you see very little. This room is pretty basic. There's very little in it. A few boxes that seem particularly uninteresting. What you do see, though, is hung up on one of the walls is a poncho.
Nice. I'm going to take that poncho and have a look at it.
It's a poncho. It's a fairly uninteresting looking item. It's grey, sort of a charcoal grey.
Would you call it like a powder blue?
Nope.
Oh, grey.
Great, yeah, it's great. And It just looks like a poncho. There's nothing particularly exciting or extravagant about this item.
I'll take it and store it for now.
What do you have there, Daboff?
I have a poncho and a dead woman in order of priority. Probably should have said the dead woman first, really, shouldn't I?
That's weird. That's the same as my Amazon wish list.
Does it say how she died? Was there any letters from a killer?
No, she's just tied up. Looks very... I relay what Nate said. Very emaciated, blood on her and what have you.
And you don't have a clue who she is? I mean, it sounded like she should be someone important from your past, but...
If she's not important, the poncho is.
Davor sort of steps out of the room, gives a twirl in his new poncho. No, I don't recognise her. Luke does, but Davor doesn't.
Did you search her?
Yeah, I've searched her in the room. I couldn't find.
No wallet or ID.
No, only this wedding ring on the floor.
I might see if my wife can produce a T-shirt with the slogan "Luke does, but Dabov doesn't," because I've heard that twice tonight. And
well, that's the thing. I know exactly what's going on, but Dabov doesn't because of his shitty dice rolls.
Unless it comes to investigating rings for ponchos, he's fine. He's fine. He loves that.
I can hone in on a poncho like nobody's business. I'm like a bloodhound.
I mean, also
So only
weird
for
that you would
ponchos,
go
then.
for the poncho rather than the ring. I feel like the ring would be more valuable than a poncho.
Well, I did say I wanted to
Fuck
investigate it, see if I could figure out if it had any thing, but Nate said not.
Just keep rolling different things until you figure out who she is.
All right, I can expand upon that. You can look at the ring, but there is nothing of interest. It's just a simple wedding band.
Am I allowed to deduce from that who this woman might be? I think it's quite obvious who she actually is.
If you want to have a guess at it, you might you could speculate, I guess, but you just wouldn't know for certain, I guess.
I would speculate that this is Mr. Swayze's wife. From the fact there's a wedding ring on the floor, he had a habit of, from my experience, not being too nice with her. I don't know why he'd bring her here, specifically if he was cast from society. I don't know how he tracked her down. He didn't mention that, but I would speculate this is his wife. I don't recognise her though.
Shit.
Yeah.
If he lured us, if her body's here and he lured us here, we could be in trouble.
Thank you for listening. If you've enjoyed this episode, hit the subscribe button on your favourite podcast app to ensure you don't miss any future instalments of Dice and Desire. And in the meantime, if you want to interact with us, come and find us on Twitter and Instagram at Dice and Desire.
This is the Explorers Collection, brought to you by Homebrew Dice. From ancient tales to treacherous lands, each of these 10 dice sets and matching boxes will take you and your party into new worlds of adventure. We need your support to bring this incredible collection to life, which is why it's coming up on Kickstarter on July 29th. With stretch goals available, such as art prints, PDF one-shot campaigns written for each set, and more, you can immerse yourself in worlds created for an escape from reality. What are you waiting for? Go to homebrewdice.co.uk/Kickstarter to be notified on launch, and let's go on an adventure together.